Now we're going to transition over to Lincoln Electric. So very different vertical here, obviously. And Lincoln, for those that don't know, is a global leader in welding products, both arc welding as well as cutting. They're a company that I'm just really proud to work with. They're very innovative, both from a product perspective as well as from a management perspective. They've just been amazing to work with. They're headquartered out of Cleveland, and they have some interesting go-to-market routes, much like Melissa and Doug. They go through distribution, they have direct relationships, and they also have some prosumer lines that sell through retail. Without further ado, I'm also going to introduce Greg Doria. He has been the owner of this project on the Lincoln side and got thrown into it actually as it was getting ready to start, and has been a tremendous champion and really has a depth of understanding of the customer, which I think has been critically important. So what were the challenges that Lincoln was trying to address? First and foremost, they had invested a lot in a lot of different technologies and experiences, but they had not taken the opportunity to think about end to end what the customer wanted to do with Lincoln and how to keep that customer engaged. So we defined this idea with Lincoln of a unified customer experience, and hopefully Greg will talk a little bit about what some of that journey looked like. And really the opportunity was to continue to engage and grow their customer base and to drive retention, as well as there were some business efficiencies that were a big opportunity for Lincoln. So, what did this look like? The customer in the middle there had a lot of different places that they needed to go in order to get all the information they needed with Lincoln, depending on where they were in their journey. And, the vision was set forth that LincolnElectric.com was going to become the front door for all customers. And from there, as you specify who you are through authentication or through behavior, is going to provide a consistent and contextual experience for the customer. So really proud of the journey we've been on with them, and excited to hear from Greg on what that's looked like from a Lincoln perspective. So welcome, Greg. I know you just got on the ground, so thanks for joining us here.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good to be here.
Yeah. So I think we'll go through kind of the same flow that we did with Melissa and Doug, but if you can kick us off here with how you guys got started and what it looked like when you got started with this transformation.
Well, that last diagram gave me a bit of a headache, actually, because you look at that the challenges faced there, but it actually really started much more simply. So I would say back in the late 2000 teens, we started to develop our next 5-year strategy. And one of the key components, obviously, as it should be for most industrial companies, is customer focus. But as part of that customer focus, creating kind of a unified digital experience for our customers was critical to that. We had an established B2B platform. We were doing a good volume of sales through that B2B platform, but it hadn't really grown. It kind of stagnated over the last 8 or 9 years. And so we were looking for an opportunity really to create this kind of unified experience with all the technologies that we've implemented over the last 20 years and really go into this digital transformation phase. Part of that was making sure that we had a consistent and high quality white glove service, as Dave mentions, experience for our global customers. So probably like a lot of people on this call, we have OEMs that have manufacturing sites in various countries from Europe to Asia to North America. And so you really want to create that kind of standardized experience for that customer wherever they're located in the world in terms of how they interact with Lincoln Electric. So as we really start to look at it and the personas of our customers, we realized that we really needed more than just a new website. Although that was certainly part of it, we wanted an experience where we could be good stewards of our product information, in terms of improving operational costs and accuracy of data as we kind of flow product information and technical data to our customers. We wanted to make sure we had a best-in-class web experience so that customers and users of our products could find the technical information and data that's critical to quality and standards easily. And then we wanted to be able to create this kind of seamless experience between our B2B platform, our portal, and the website, so that it would be very similar to what we expect today as a consumer experience ourselves. You know, when you go shopping online for Home Depot or Costco, you're browsing the web, you have a login account, and all of a sudden you can add to cart and start buying stuff as you go through your shopping experience. So that was very unique for our industry in particular. Most manufacturers in our space have a B2B portal and have had one for some time, but nobody really has really approached it from this kind of unified stance. And then finally, we're a Salesforce house relative to CRM, and that was a big part of the integration, not just from a commerce side, but from a CRM standpoint, so that our sales teams could interact with customers through that B2B portal. So understanding first who the personas, who the people were that we were interacting with digitally, which are really the same people that we were interacting with, in terms of real life or physically, whether it's quality control people, purchasers, engineers, and so on, management. We want to build those personas and kind of build these specific experiences for each of these important functions within our customer groups.
That's great, Greg. And maybe, as you said, that it was a lot, and not many have attempted to take on that end-to-end experience. So what were some of the building blocks that you identified as you did that, in terms of some of the product management that you wanted to do, as well as the experience and the B2B side of things? Because there's a lot of technologies that are pieced together to power that experience.
Absolutely, yeah. I think one of the key things is making sure that the project is run from the business. So we surrounded the project with people who understood our customers and understood our channels and our products. So that was key to accelerating or kicking off the project. And what we realized very quickly as we started to validate what technologies we needed was we needed something, those who are not familiar with it, I know many of you on this call are familiar with it, but with a PIM. And a PIM, or product information management system, is somewhat like an advanced catalog because it feeds more than just a website. But if you think about how we did things in the past, you'd have product information that would feed down from an engineer. They would then email this to a product manager who would consolidate it and email it to a designer who would put it in Adobe InDesign, and then would email that to the web team who would then get it up on the website or syndicate that data or send that data off to a customer. So all of those points of potential broken telephone led to the opportunity for error, of course, as any process person would think through. And at the same time, it also added a lot of handoffs or costs in terms of time. And so what the PIM does is kind of a hub and spoke model where all of those critical functions are working off of a single cloud-based kind of product database. It looks like a normal website, except you're filling in information. But we were also able to link that system with our ERP system, so with SAP, so we could pull in the basic data. We have a LIMS system where we have important information that's critical to purchase decisions, such as on some of our products, chemistry, the composition of the product, and things like that. We were able to link those directly to the system so that information didn't have to pass through a person to be part of the product information. So that was pretty exciting for us. And then that in turn fed our website. So you no longer have a person feeding that data, that important information to the website, which then leads to the purchase decision. So the purchase decision actually is facilitated by the amount of information. On top of that, any kind of cross-sell or upsell opportunity where you're suggesting products that are relevant to a customer that they may not be aware of can be driven by that PIM as well, so that you're making those references. And then finally, with a lot of our OEM customers, they don't want to buy off of our B2B platform. They have their own internal systems and they order through EDI, but they still need that product information for their own internal catalog systems or shopping systems. And so the PIM helped there as well, in the sense that it allows us to syndicate or automatically digitally send the key data on the key products per the customer's requirement or request. So if you think about a global OEM where they have a global shopping list, the PIM really drives that, and they don't deal directly with the B2B site, for example.
I
So
remember
that was
spending
basically,
I remember spending some long evenings mapping some of those processes out with you, Greg, when we were getting this whole package ready for your board of directors.
yeah.
Let's pivot a little bit and talk about where you guys are today. You went live within the past few months, and what does it look like right now if you're a customer of Lincoln Electric?
Yeah, we went live in May, and it's a totally new experience in terms of the web interface. We use it's a modern, updated website, and there's many options in terms of shopping. You can shop from an application-based, industry-based, or product-based search. And then if you're a customer, you essentially have the ability to browse through the website, add to cart in your portal, and then seamlessly switch between the portal, which is actually on a Salesforce platform, and the website, which is on a Sitecore platform. So two different tools, but for the customer experience, it's really seamless. And then what that does is when they can switch from the shopping experience or the prospecting experience in terms of the products they want, they can go into their portal page and check inventory real time. They can check pricing real time. If they can get suggested replacement products if something's not available or in stock. They can create shared shopping lists or save shopping lists to save time. So it's pretty exciting from that standpoint. Also, I would say from the message center, which has been critical for us, we have a very strong and several hundred technical sales engineers in the field. And it's just changing the way they sell, I think, in terms of how they interact with those customers, because we leverage Salesforce. Instead of emailing over a quote or sending a quote, we're able to actually create that quote within our Salesforce CRM platform and send it through the message center to the customer on their My Lincoln portal. And then they have their full shopping list. But what that does for us is it ties that record of that activity so that we have this constant update of our interactions with our customers in order to be able to service them better and understand if something goes wrong, where it went wrong, and how we can get better and improve.
Yeah, you're really moving to the point where you do have a 360-degree view of your customer, which is awesome, and the insights to then action on that. I think then, Greg, you talked about the global nature of some of your accounts. So I think that probably actually brings us pretty well into where you're going to go, because you have a roadmap, right? And
Yep.
And you're starting to execute on that next. So what are you seeing as the next iteration of LincolnElectric.com and the B2B portal?
Well, so shortly after launch, I changed jobs. So I have a different role within Lincoln Electric now. So shout out to Bruce Chantry, who's I think on this call as well, listening in. But he's our new vice president of marketing, and I think he's a member of the marketing council now with MAPI also. So Bruce is going to be really leading the project as we roll out globally. So the idea was that we build this North American experience, 3 languages. And so it's really a Canadian, US, Mexico experience. And in the true sense of a unified platform, we want to create that same experience around the world across our subsidiaries. So the subsidiary that I'm now working with, Harris Products Group, that's part of the next phase. So I still get to be involved with the project, of course, from the Harris Products Group perspective, as well as our European rollout, which is happening throughout this year. And then moving into the final leg of the project, it's rest of world. So Asia and South America as well on top of that. So really at this point, it comes to improving our experience on our current website and rolling out through the rest of the world over the next 18 months or so. So there's still a lot of work to do, but again, it's about creating that standard experience. I will also say on the North American launch, that just because of the size and scale and scope, it is still a ton of work in terms of perfecting and optimizing and improving the user experience overall. So the work is never done there. So
yeah, I know you've transitioned over, Greg, and congratulations. but I also know you had a lot of purview into helping to define what the roadmap looked like. How much do you anticipate that you're going to need to create market specific capabilities as you do the global rollout? Do you feel like you're going to be able to keep this as a unified platform and just make a few localization modifications, or is there going to be a lot of net new capabilities?
Mm. So there's always some smaller tweaks, but we're being as much as possible. We're eliminating large iterations for regions,
Mhm.
because part of it comes down to maintaining what kind of system do you want to build long term. Do you want to build something that is going to be cost effective and reasonable to manage globally as you kind of implement changes? Because kind of what we had in the past was a bunch of one-offs, right? And I think a lot of companies who manufacture regionally within the world, just kind of we all kind of grew up that way as globalization took place throughout the 90s and early 2000s. We wanted to think global, but act regionally and create local or regional manufacturing, and that worked out great. But when you transfer that to the digital experience, and we still think that way, by the way, in terms of our manufacturing footprint, but from the digital experience, you're dealing with software, you're dealing with systems, you're dealing with potential bugs, you're dealing with upgrades. And so if you start to multiply the different types of tools that you use, then it becomes just more expensive and larger to maintain over time, and actually results in a worse customer experience as a result.
Yep.
And so really as much kind of standardization as possible on the digital tool set is critical for us. The experience will certainly change a little bit, and most of the tools are flexible enough for you to tailor an experience to market expectations or customer expectations.
Yeah. Awesome. I think we're about up to Q&A time, Greg. Anything closing thoughts?
No, just I mean, it's never easy. There's a lot of late nights. There's a lot of pain points in these types of projects. But if you think, especially from the industrial manufacturing side, our customers are expecting what we all expect as consumers today. They expect that same experience, I think, as David referred to on the Melissa and Doug side as well, right? So if you want to be able to buy something or shop on a Saturday or a Tuesday morning while you're having your coffee, we're finding that more and more of our customers are having the similar expectations. And so at the end of the day, it's just a question of are you willing to take on the effort to drive there to service those customers in that way, for all the late nights and headaches and pain points and sometimes delays, but eventually you get there, right? So.
Awesome. Well, as I said, congratulations on your new role, Greg. Company I'm really proud to have worked with over the past few years, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in your new role as well.
Appreciate it.
Cincinnati.
Thank you.
Thanks.